Hey guys, welcome back to Barry's Corner. It's Emily here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I read in May. It's crazy. We're literally done with May right now. It is May 31st at the moment that we are speaking, and I just literally can't believe it's almost June. I'm going to a summer internship. I'm ecstatic about it. It's almost Christmas in July, which I'm also ecstatic about. But I read 12 books in May. I read a lot, which is a lot for me, okay? And I'm so excited to show them all to you. But before we begin, please subscribe, comment down below, and like this video. All of my social links are down in the description box below, as well as my Amazon wishlist if you would like to give me a book. Now let's get on to the video. Okay, so most of these books are for videos that I did. I'm trying to be a multitasking queen, okay? So I'm not going to talk too much on them. I always say that and then I talk a bunch about them. But the first book that I read was The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. And this book, I feel very conflicted about. If you don't know what it is, it's about a girl that has to go to her sister's wedding in Spain, but her ex is going to be there. So she told her family that she had a boyfriend when she really didn't. And her coworker, who they hate each other, is like, I'll go with you. And she's like, why? And so they fake date, they're enemies to lovers, and then of course they fall in love. And I enjoyed the book. I gave it a 4 stars. It's on the lower end of a 4 stars, but I didn't hate it. It's definitely not like The Hating Game or The Love Hypothesis for me, but I did enjoy. I felt like the fuzzy feelings, and I really liked the main characters together. I really thought that they were good together. However, when I say I was conflicted on some things, I was definitely conflicted on a couple things. The pacing in the beginning I didn't like, in the end I did. In the beginning I didn't really like the main character. She was kind of annoying. In the end I really liked her rambling, and I felt like the enemies in the beginning was kind of sucky, and then during the end I really enjoyed it. Like, I feel like I was just all over the place with what I liked in this book and what I didn't. It was just kind of put off-ish, I guess. 4 out of 5 stars, lower end of 4. I definitely think I'll maybe reread this someday. I just don't think it'll be soon. The next book that I read was Crush by Tracy Wolff. This is the second book in the Crave series, and this series I actually really freaking love. And I know everybody's like, oh, that's the bootleg Twilight, and you're right, it does look like a Twilight cover, and she does fall in love with the vampire, and the girl is Pick Me Girl, and it is a guilty pleasure read. However, other than all those things, it's not a Twilight retelling, like, in a sense. It's not a bootleg Twilight, I promise you. If you don't know what it's about a girl that goes to a monster boarding school and falls in love with a vampire named Jackson, but she kind of gets intertwined with a lot of the stuff that's happening, maybe a little war, you know. The first book I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. I stayed up till 6 a.m. to read it, and I've never done that before in my life. The book Crave, I stayed up till 6 a.m. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, but I did ignore everything wrong with it. This book I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I still liked everything that I liked about Crave. However, I could finally notice like the subpar writing and the pacing issues and like the scenes that she needs to cut out. Like, I noticed it finally, so I gave it a 4 stars, and that's still a really high rating because, trust me, like, this book, it gets you. Hudson was introduced. If you don't know who Hudson is, it's the brother of the guy that she falls in love with in the first book. We love Hudson. I love Hudson. And actually, I then read Covet by Tracy Wolff, which is the 3rd book, and I need to buy the last book. Hudson. We love Hudson in this book. It's like Shatter Me if you like liked Adam in the first book, and then you're like, what about Warner? Like, so good. I also gave this book a 4 star. However, these books are objectively better than Crave. I just felt like Crave, it was the right book at the right time, and I finally like understood and saw like all the flaws in these books, but I still had such a great time, and I really enjoyed this series. Next, I read some Colleen Hoover, and guys, I read Ugly Love, and I'm so sorry I did not like this book whatsoever. And I know that you guys are like, what? This is my favorite book. Girl, I get it. I know. Like, I know. Like, I get it. If you don't know what this book is about, it's about Groningen Tate, and she moves in with her brother, and across the hall is a guy named Miles. And instantly attraction, okay? And they start a friends with benefits type thing, but he's like, oh, we can't, like, have anything. Like, I can't have more than friends with benefits. She's like, yeah, of course. But then she falls in love with him, and then blah, blah, blah. It goes back and forth between present day in Tate's perspective and the past in Miles' perspective. And usually that's a hit or miss for me, like, changing timelines. It was a hit for me. Like, I did like the change on timelines, and I loved hearing about Miles and Rachel. Like, I thought that was good. But I didn't feel like there was romance aside from Miles and Rachel. Like, I don't understand how Tate fell in love with him. It was purely physical. Like, there was not one scene that was romantic that wasn't clouded by sex. Like, literally. I can't take it. If you know me, if a book has more sex than romance, like, it's just not the vibe for me. And Miles is a cutie. I get why some of you guys like him. I think, yeah, he has like a traumatic past, like whatever. He just needs to go to therapy, okay? He hurt Tate so many times. She kept giving him chances. And when he said Rachel, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if you know what I'm talking about, bye. I would have been done. I would have been gone. I just couldn't. I gave this book a 3 stars. It's a lower end of a 3, almost 2, because every single time I talk about this book, I get more and more mad. I get it. I like Tate. I like Miles. And I'm glad that they ended up together, because duh, it's a romance book. Of course they do. Colleen Hoover, I'm so sorry. I love you in every other one of your books, but like, not this one. Then we read and did a video on the next book in the Vampire Academy series, Shadow Kiss. This book was very much a filler book. If you don't know what the Vampire Academy series is about, it's about a girl named Rose, and she is a Dhampir, which means like she's half vampire, half human, or half Dhampir, half human. Anyway, not the point. And basically, she lives her life trying to protect Moroi, which are full vampires, and specifically this one girl named Lissa, who she has a bond with, who is a Moroi princess. But anyway, they go on these little adventures and like they fight Strigoi, which are bad vampires. And this book was definitely a filler book. This is the 3rd book in the series, and there's 3 more books to go. And a lot of people say that it switches to like a deeper and darker, because like the early ones were like mid-2000s, like fun vibes, like, you know what I mean? They say that the rest of the series changes to like a deeper, darker vampire novel. This book felt like filler. Like, it felt like in between that switch, and there wasn't a lot of action that went on. However, the ending, when that ending hit, I was like, action, action, action. Okay, such a big plot twist. I did not see it coming, but like the rest of, like, the ending did not make up for the rest of the book, so I ended up giving it a 3 stars. However, I am excited to continue, and don't worry, I won't make a whole video on each and every book, but I will make a whole video finishing the rest of the series, so I hope you guys are ready for that. Okay, so then I did a 24-hour readathon, which you guys will see soon, and I read this book called Make Trouble, which was basically about a guy who was giving a speech to these college graduates, and he's the guy that wrote Hairspray, the Broadway musical play thing, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of vulgar, like for a graduation speech. I was like, did anybody like approve this speech? Like, I think his overlying message was really, really great. I just think that it was kind of messy. Like, sometimes he'd talk to the parents, sometimes he wouldn't. It was just like really weird sometimes. I did like the illustrations as well, because there were illustrations in this book, but overall, I think I gave it a 3 stars. It wasn't like amazing. Next I read I Hope This Finds You Well by Kate Baer. It's a collection of poetry, and basically it's supposed to be what she told me it was going to be in the introduction, was clips of her hate comments or hate DMs and like changing it into like blackout poetry, sort of like that. And so I was like, okay, like that's cool. And there are some poems in here that are like, whoa, that was so good. However, there were some also positive comments and positive DMs, and so I was like, oh, do you see this as a hate comment? Because I don't. And then I realized, no, it's just a positive comment as well. But then you can definitely tell she's liberal in this book, like, you know, and that's totally fine. Like, you be outgoing with like what you believe in. However, there was also like some clips from like political people and like her taking their statement and turning it into something like nice and like valid. That's cool. That would be a cool book. But that wasn't what I signed up for. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like the political like clips from the political people like kind of muddled what the main point was to like take hate comments. You know what I mean? Like, be outward with what you believe in, but don't muddle the point of the book. I give it a 4 stars. I definitely think that this book was good, but I don't know, it wasn't the best poetry I've ever read. Next, we read a book that I know you guys are going to be proud of me for, because this has been in countless TBRs and I never got to it. Becoming by Michelle Obama. I read this book. I absolutely adored it. Michelle Obama just has a way with words. If you don't know what this is about, I always say that before I tell you what a book is about. But it is about Michelle Obama, who was the first lady when President Barack Obama was in office about 2 presidents ago. And this just follows her life, growing up poor, going into a college that is predominantly white, and then becoming the first lady. I thought her writing was just so beautiful, like literally struck me so many different ways. I listened to the audiobook and read it physically, and both were just so good. I definitely loved the audiobook. Like, so if you do get a chance to read it, read the audiobook. It's like really, really good. The whole book was just so poetic. It was just like a story that I just loved. It was just so beautiful. I loved hearing about her life. The ending is what got me. I gave this a 4.5 stars because in the end, it basically followed her life as first lady, and it was just like one whole section of just kind of like things after things after things that happened in 8 years, and that's a lot. So she couldn't really go into detail about everything, which is totally understandable. However, it just felt, it kind of felt cut off from the rest of the story that she was telling in the beginning, which kind of disrupted my whole thing. I just felt like I was just gonna have to skim the pages because it kind of felt like name dropping, not name dropping, like I would be name dropping if I was a first lady, but like, no, like she was just explaining all the good that they were doing, or like all the good she felt and all that sadness she felt and like everything, which is valid, but it's just so much happened within those 8 years that it kind of just stopped feeling like a story. It just felt like this happened and this happened and this happened. So I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't think I could have written it better, but it was good. Guys, Next we read Christina Lauren, Love in Other Words, and if you don't know what this is about a girl named Macy, and she got her heart broken a while ago by this guy named, what is his name? Elliot. I know his name, guys. I promise, like, I love this book, but, like, I know his name. I don't know why, I just, like, blanked my mind. But she got her heart broken a while ago, and so now she has, like, this little bubble, like, she's content in life, but she's not happy until Elliot comes back, and she's like, whoa, okay, still love you. And it goes back and forth, the alternate timelines, you know how I feel about this, hit or miss. It was a hit in this book. Past and present, oh my gosh, I love Elliot. Something about a guy being so, like, down bad from the beginning, like, knowing he wants the main character from the beginning, I love it. Like, I love that so much. And, okay, look, I love both of them. I love Macy, I love Elliot. I love them both as characters. I gave this book a 4 stars. I gave it a 4.5, but, like, now that I think about it, a 4-star. Because the ending, I'm so sorry, guys, I didn't like the ending. And the ending where it kind of showed what he did to hurt her feelings. I felt like we focused way too much on his feelings in the end, and it kind of felt like she, like, had already gotten over it, but, like, she didn't, because, like, when she first saw Elliot, she would have been like, hi, like, I don't know how to explain it, but we focused on his feelings, and he did something bad, and, like, the explanation for it, like, I get it, like, I'm not mad at him, I love Elliot, but I just felt like we should have talked about it a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then also I felt like the ending was a little bit rushed. I feel like I just wanted 2 more chapters, just 2 more chapters, talking about both of their feelings, and then solidifying their relationship, and then we can go on to the epilogue, because I like the epilogue. I thought what happened at the end was good, I just wanted it to be 2 more chapters. That's all I wanted, 2 more chapters. So 4.5, really good book. Like, a book that I am going to be rereading again, a book that I will recommend to everybody, like, 100%. Beautiful cover, stunning, but I don't know. I got through these books fast, guys. 2 more books. Letter to My Daughter by Maya Angelou. This, I honestly thought, so basically this was supposed to be, or it is, Maya Angelou writing to us, because she doesn't have a daughter, she only has 1 son, and she's just writing to us like we would be her daughter or her child. And basically it was supposed to be a lot of lessons that we were supposed to know and, like, supposed to learn or go through. And I thought it was going to be her talking to us. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, truly, because I read the introduction and it was just, I don't know. But basically it's just, like, kind of like short stories of her life, like, kind of like a memoir, but, like, cut really, 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 really short. And we, like, are missing a lot of pieces, but it was really, really cool to see what she went through, and it was kind of supposed to be us learning through her experiences, because you grow and you do things and you learn by doing, but, like, now we learn by her doing and, like, her going through it so that we can learn before we have to make mistakes. And it was just so cool to read that. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I remember what I gave it. I think I gave it a 4-star. There's certain short stories that you won't like in a book, but I think it was so impactful. So I think it's like a 4.5, maybe a 5. I don't know, guys, I can't. But I really enjoyed it. 4.5. I feel like it's kind of harsh to rate somebody's life story, but yeah, 4.5. Guys, last book. Absolutely obsessed. I just finished it this morning at 3 a.m. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. Guys. You don't know what I just went through. This book is about a girl named Nora, and she is in the agent publishing book industry with books. And she one time met this guy that she didn't really like, and then she goes on vacation with her sister to Sunshine Falls, and she meets the guy that she hates. He also lives in New York, and they kind of, like, strike up a romance, but, like, they don't, it's enemies to lovers. They're like, no, but it's kind of like annoyance to lovers, you know what I mean? It's not, like, full-on enemies. Wow. Hallmark setting without the Hallmark vibe. I mean, like, a little bit of a Hallmark vibe, but, like, so much deeper and better. It doesn't follow the Hallmark tropes, and I love that. Like, I just love it so much. The familial love, like, her and her sister, Nora's sister, is just so freaking awesome. Like, to see that stake, or, like, she wants to be motherly and she wants to take care of her, and it's like it gives Miss Sharma from Bridgerton vibes, like how she always took care of Edwina. Like, it gives that vibe so hard in the best way possible. And you're like, and, like, Edwina was, like, so, like, not caring of Kate, and was like, I don't want you to take care of me. It gives that vibe, but a little bit in a better way, and I love it so much. She talks about her mother dying in this book, a lot of difficult things that she went through. Oh my gosh, Charlie Lastra, is that his name, Lastra? Okay, that's weird, but anyway, oh, he's such a sweetie pie. Emily Henry will do no wrong. I will read every single book that she writes. I loved it so much. Didn't read this for a video, I just read it, and I absolutely adored it. Pick this book up right now, put it off the check, do what you gotta do, honey, okay? Read it right now. Okay, those were all the books that I read in May. Those were a lot of books. I'm so sorry if this video is long. I have absolutely no idea, and I'm gonna have to edit this, and I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, Emily, stop talking. But I love you guys so much. Please subscribe, comment down below, do whatever you want to do, and goodbye.